who is this audience? Like, I feel like different parts of the show are for different people.
I agree. I think that's
Like,
a
it's
great
not all for the
question.
same
Who
person.
is this
Yeah.
show for? And I think they're overreaching to be inclusive, and it's almost to the point of being obnoxious because non-binary people are valid and they exist, but it is not the same, in my opinion, as being trans, having operations, being on medication, going through physical changes, the trauma, the drama. It's not the same as being black. It's almost like forgive me if this is offensive. It's almost like the queer equivalent of being vegan. It is, because you can just say I am non-binary but present as a man or woman in a traditional sense, and I feel like they're shoving it down our throat. Not shoving it down our throat, but they're trying to, like, they're overdoing it. Like, it's great that Shay Diaz is the podcast host and she has a comedy special, or they have a comedy special, but it's like, okay, we got it. You're accepting. This is Sex in the City where everybody's a whore. Like, we get it. Nobody thinks you're discriminatory here.
I'll
It's
have to think about that.
it's okay to disagree. Like, I'm not mad.
I'm not saying that. I don't think anything is a problem that she did this and had that comedy show. I just feel sort of like it was just a bit much. Like, maybe I need a little more sprinkling of a lot of things on this show. Like a lot of this sits better with me in smaller doses. And I feel like without Samantha, it's sort of like, now, I'm not the expert on Sex and the City, but I feel kind of like Samantha was the comic relief
Oh, for sure.
in a lot of ways, and that's missing. So everything seems serious or sad.
You're right on the money. You're exactly right. Samantha was, and she was the, she kind of brought everything. Like, oops, are you still there? You still
Yeah.
there? Okay, we had a disconnection. Anyway, Samantha was the comic relief, but she also broached serious issues. And Kim Cattrall, kind of in the news this week, was liking and responding to, I think she was just liking tweets that supported her decision not to return to the series. So she was being Twitter shady, which I loved.
I just feel like we need more of that and less of an entire comedy stand-up show. You know,
There was
with
a very
serious
long
issues,
scene.
and it wasn't even that funny.
It was a very long scene. The writing was terrible. I don't blame the actress or actor because...
Or even that it's about being non-binary, and that whole storyline is fine. Excuse me. To even the audience say, okay, so let's say the audience is, at this point, middle-aged people, whether it's gay,
Hi.
straight, whatever, and that's the audience. I get it. Like, especially people who aren't, exposed to
Heteronormative.
like, yeah, Karen. We'll use the name Karen in middle Southern Illinois, whatever, who doesn't have any non-binary people in their life. So that's not. I don't think that the issue for me is the topics that they talk
the
about.
delivery.
It's the amount of it and the lack. Excuse me, the lack of sparkle on the show and lightness and fun. It's just gone.
Yes.
And
yes, agreed.
that scene with that comedy scene was too long.
Too
It
long.
was too long.
It was too much. And this is where Samantha, you're exactly right, would have brought in, because they would be discussing, normally in a normal Sex in the City episode from back in the day, they would be at the lunch table discussing something, and Samantha would just, randomly chime out, I'm dating a woman. Like, and just break break right through the tension, break right through anything serious, and make it fun. And that is an element that is missing. Now, they tried to bring that back with Stanford, which is, by the way, this is his last episode. Kristen Davis announced, which is so sad. And by the way, they're slamming the door in his back at that lunch table. I was like, oh my God, this is torture.
Yeah, they would treat him like shit. And he was like dying the whole time, and they just treated him like shit.
Can I tell you that I love him, by the way? I always loved him because he wasn't Jack from Will and Grace. He wasn't the typical... He was a martini drinking bitchy gay, don't get me wrong, but I loved him for representation's sake. But by the way, he says he wasn't gay. I don't know about that. But I read a few years ago that he adopted a child. Like, he has a 10-year-old kid that's now fatherless. Like, that makes me very sad.
Yeah, because he spoke at a funeral or something. Well, one thing, to steer back just a quick minute for this,
Sure.
The whole non-binary thing. So what I think was pretty interesting as well is the
Juxtaposition. Hold on. We're buffering. Hold on, we're buffering. Hold on, we're coming. Okay. The juxtaposition. Go ahead.
between the comedy show and then Mario Cantone's character talking about what's her face's daughter. I'm blanking.
Charlotte's daughter. Now Charlotte's daughter is non-binary.
Kristen Davis, I know. Yes, and to be like, she don't know what she is yet. She might think she's a unicorn or whatever. I'm like, what is this?
Oh, I hate that.
This is like the opposite of what we just witnessed at the comedy show. So you're shaming the daughter for questioning her gender.
I hate this. And now look,
You're an awful person.
Yes, and now look, I've had a lot of questions, and we've had a whole episode, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more, about non-binary stuff. Like, I don't fully understand it, and I have questions and concerns, but to me, his line of questioning almost made me feel like, remember when gay marriage was on the table for, in Parliament, whatever, in the House, whatever, whenever they're trying to make it a law. Wow, I sound real educated. But anyway, remember when conservatives' argument was, well, what's next? People marrying dogs and cats? Remember that argument?
Yeah.
And I was like, it made me feel like that. Like, don't be so ignorant to where you take it all the way to the extreme and be like, what, is she a unicorn? Is she an elf? Like, okay, calm down, girl. We're talking about somewhere between male and female. We're not talking about unicorns and elves.
I found that part to be offensive.
A little
and I was
problematic.
really shocked it just really offensive and shocking that even happened on this episode after having that whole comedy special thing. I'm like, so we're celebrating adults for being non-binary, but children, we're not. We're criticizing and judging and shaming. That's what the same episode's doing. And then whenever he got done acting like a fucking bitchy ass queen, I hate him, by the way. And then Kirsten Davis just has a smile on her face like, you're right. I wanted to smack both of them. Get in line for my rocket to the sun, bitches.
Get in Jay's rocket to the sun. I didn't like it either. You're exactly right. They tried to play both sides in the same episode, which is fine because there are two sides to there's an opinion on both sides of everything, but I did not like it, first of all. And not only that, but it did not seem realistic to me that Charlotte would be at Anthony's hot guy bakery. That was totally unbelievable. That bitch is too busy. Do you think she cares? Look, go down through history. Gay men stand by their bitches, but bitches are too busy for their gay men when it matters. Do you think she's going to visit the fucking bakery and have her daughter volunteer to help bake sourdough bread? I'm sorry. No, not even during the pandemic. That bitch would be shopping at Bergdorf's or whatever.
Yeah. I think off camera, the daughter punched him in the nuts. I think it was something that we got cut.
I used to really love him. I used to really love him, Anthony, on the show. What's his name? I forgot his name, his actual name. But he's been on Wendy a bunch of times. But he does he is a comedian, but he does Betty Davis and stuff. Like, he does those old school impressions of people. I'm like, nobody knows.
Cancel him.
What'd you say?
I said cancel him.
Cancel him.
Cancel him.
Cancel him. He's not a friend of the non-binary community. What else happened in this episode? Okay, so after Natasha and Carrie, like, that scene went on too long too. It's just so much unnecessary bullshit. What happened after that? After Carrie and Natasha?
Well, you called it, by the way, that Miranda was going to be a lesbian. Like, you called it.
Yeah, that had been speculated, though. That wasn't totally for me. But, yeah, Samantha is taking... she's shotgunning marijuana from Che Diaz in the after party for the... She's like, oh, Carrie and Charlie, you guys go on. I'm going to go to the... She says, bye, Carl, I'll be here in a minute. And then she goes to the after party, and she's shotgunning pot.
You knew that was going to happen.
Che Diaz. And she's like, earlier in the episode, she's like, me and Steve haven't fucked in years. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're both still hot. To me, they're both still hot. And men,
they have no chemistry.
Men, I know, do not lose interest in their 50s because I've dated them. They don't. So that storyline made no sense to me. He may be deaf, but he still has a boner. And Miranda's still sex. She's a great.
Hot that he's deaf.
I love deaf men.
Is that wrong to say? I love that. Well, I love that they gave him a little moment. Like they did. They like gave him a little bit of something, and they didn't just bring his like lame ass self out. They like gave him something.
Yeah. Somebody said that he maybe possibly have hearing trouble in real life, so that's why they wrote it in, which makes more sense to me because I'm like, why is a 55-year-old man deaf? Like, that's...
Well, being deaf isn't funny or anything. And there is a guy on Instagram, I can't think of his name, but he's deaf and he's a doctor. He's always showing his ass, and he's pretty cute.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Just
about.
saying.
He was on Dancing with the Stars, too. And there's a local guy in St. Louis that's
He was?
Well, if it's dark hair...
He's a doctor?
No, we're talking about a different guy.
Stars.
I'm talking about like an actor. There's
yeah.
like a dark-haired actor. But also in St. Louis locally, there's one very like cute deaf guy that everybody has like, oh man, this sounds bad. And we're buffering. Okay, I'm glad you missed that part.
What did you say?
You know what? A disability can be endearing. I'm just saying. I was just saying locally in St. Louis, there's a deaf guy that's kind of cute that everybody has kind of made the rounds with. But that sounds like I'm disparaging him.
Do I know who that is?
You probably do.
I know who that is.
You probably do. I know somebody that went on a date with him recently. I'm sorry. St. Louis is a big, small city, people who are listening and judging. It's not like New York.
Offline, tell me who that is and see if I know who that is.
I don't know if I know their name, but I'll find out.
Like, I don't know that I've ever dated anybody with a disability, but I did go out with someone who was Australian, which I think is pretty similar.
That's a disability. No, I'm kidding. I love Australian people because they have no filter. They are totally truck driver mouth filth, and I love that.
Queens down under.
I remember being like 17, 18, and like some guy offered me money. Some quadriplegic offered me money to come over and like do something in front of him. Older man. Do you know who I'm talking about? Oh my god, we're buffering again. This is a terrible episode. Hold on, guys. Are you there? Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I did, and I said you're making that up.
No, I'm not. And a friend of mine also, he offered money to do that. An older guy. Quadriplegic.
He's an older guy.
Quadriplegic Asian guy offered us money to come over and like do things in front of him.
Did you take it?
No, I didn't do it.
You don't have to say. You don't have to say.
I didn't.
I don't know who that is. Oh, you did or you didn't?
No, I did not.
Oh, you did not. I don't know who that is. Like, I don't know these people. Maybe I'm just out of it.
Maybe we should just do St. Louis blind items for gays and have everybody shaking in their boots. Well, anyway.
I don't know any quadriplegic people in St. Louis.
Didn't he die? Well, I don't know. I don't remember what happened in the rest in the end, just like that episode. Do you?
Not really. We kind of covered it all. It's I just wish they would just. It's so messy. They need to just clean it up.
So
I don't
okay,
know.
so Miranda is going full les in the upcoming. Clearly, she's going full les. She's going for her teacher, the cute black chick with the braids, because it shows them at a dinner, and she's like, "So you can't have it all," and Miranda's like, again, bad writing or bad delivery, because she's like, "You can. It's just really hard." Oh my god, damn! Are we really doing this?
Can we just? They need to bring some fun back. They need to bring some sparkle back. We need to have
Whatever
some joy.
happened to
Bring
fun?
back Samantha. Jesus Christ! I know, right? Bring somebody fun in.
Bring Kristen Davis in. I know
don't know
she
who.
died in season 6, but please bring her. Can we resurrect her? Can we have a seance or something? Where is the fucking fun? Because I'm sorry. I'm glad you're including non-binary people. I'm glad there's queer representation. Can we have some fucking fun?
We need some fun. For sure. That's what's missing. It's just missing the fun. It's not fun. Oh God. Okay, I'm exhausted from talking about that.
Okay, well, we'll be back tomorrow on on the regular Drag Dungeon podcast for the finale of Canada's Drag Race, which you do not want to miss.
Yeah.
So please like, subscribe, tell your friends, leave a 5-star review. It really helps us. And follow us on Twitter and TikTok and all that bullshit, because we're very young and very with it.
Yes, and feel free to buy me a coffee lab. I'm in.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the description. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Bye. See you next time.